you have been rumored to, in many ways, I think would be positive. I'm sure this audience would agree with this, but it's demonstrated now that you can be just about anything and become President of the United States.
For better or worse.
For better or for worse. And you've been very vocal critic of President Trump. So tell us what your thoughts are, not so much about beating up on the president, but what you see is happening in this country that is dividing this country, in my view. The divisive politics, the divisive conversations about everything, what's happening with, and this is happening with both Democrats and Republicans, it's happened with, and it is starting to bring out other things with men and women and all the above. So tell me your thoughts in regards to what you're seeing in this political landscape and whether or not you would actually really consider
let me do that part. Would I consider it? Yes. Do I know I'm going to do it? I mean, I'm not close to saying yes, but it's something I'll consider because, you know, that I have 3 kids, 8, 11, and 14. The older 2 are girls and a boy. And, you know, the definition of being an awful parent is running for president when you have kids that age. And it's such a great age, I just don't want to put them through it unless I have to. And so we're not to that point yet. But in terms of what's going on in the country, you know, I think America works best when we're Americans first. You know, that we all are going to be who we are, our race, our ethnicity, you know, where we came from. And we're always going to be proud of that, and we're always going to recognize that. But when that's our only identity and it becomes kind of our team, almost like our sports team, and then that tribalism starts to pull us apart. But when we think about who we are, we're 99% the same. Whether you come from the United States, you're an immigrant, your parents were immigrants, however you got here, we're 99% the same. And I think it takes leadership to get us to recognize that. We want all our fellow Americans to succeed. We want all our fellow Americans to get along. We don't want to wake up in the morning, every morning, feeling stressed about what's going on in the world, you know? And so I think rather than, if I were to run, the impetus would be, you can't be a Republican. You can't be a Democrat. Because that tribalism is as bad as any other tribalism. You know, that's separating us as much as anything. But you can be an American. You can be independent of those and just try to do the right things. And, you know, and I think that starts with leadership, and that leadership starts with everybody deserves respect. Everybody. No exceptions. Everybody deserves opportunity. No exceptions, right? Everybody needs to be treated as an American, that is an American citizen or legally here, needs to be treated as such. And for those who, you know, have issues, aren't here, we need to care and figure it out. You don't throw people under the bus because they don't fit who you think they should be. And so I think you know, we get so caught up in the news, and we get so caught up in, you know, what our president does or doesn't do, and that just gets us all torqued up. When in reality, somebody, whether it's me or somebody else, it doesn't matter. Somebody needs to say, we're all Americans first. We all deserve opportunity. We all deserve respect, with respect probably being first and foremost. And if Americans care for each other, we can do things together. That's what makes America special. Look, we're all entrepreneurs here. You're all here because you want to create. You're all here because you believe the American dream is still alive and well. You're all here because you want a better life for your family. And when we do these things together and when we come together, those things can happen. Now, there's no perfect candidates. There's no perfect solutions. God, I'm sounding like a politician, aren't I?
Yes.
But this is just what I feel, and it's just, you know, it's just we just need somebody that says, put aside the Democrats, put aside the Republicans. You guys had your shot. Now it's time for a new America. Let's all come together. And look, even the furthest left and the furthest right, you know, there's so many commonalities that we can gather around and respect that makes this country great. And I mean, I just think that can pull us together as opposed to, no, this is it's worse than sports, you know? It's like, oh, how many rings do you have? Or your team, or your team sucks, or your team sucks. That's what we're turning into. You know, it's like we're all bandwagoners in some political or some tribe. And I just think that that's wrong. And if we can get past that with whether it's me or whoever it is, there's still greatness in this country. We don't need to make it great again. It is great.
Well, I'd love to see you lead the Common Sense Party.
But you know what? And
rather than the...
That's interesting, though, right? Because it brings the question, do you create another party? And the reality is you can't. You know, you can't create another party. You have to get individuals, communities, groups standing up and saying, we're doing this because it's the right thing to do. It's not come join my party and get away, because then you're just another party. Right? Do it as individuals. Individuals need to stand up. Families need to stand up. Communities need to stand up and do what they think is right. And one of the things I am doing and putting my money where my mouth is, one of the challenges that we have with politics is we don't always get the best candidates. And there's all kinds of rules that are established that say, if you want to run for federal office and get on the ballot in the state of Texas, you have to go out there and literally get, I think the number is, and I'm not positive, but numbers like 57,000 signatures. What are you going to do, walk through Texas to get 57,000? Yes, people hire people to do that and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars just to get on the ballot, which means 99% of the best candidates can't get on the ballot. So we're working on getting some independent candidates and putting together some programs so that we can fight some of these laws and get them changed. It's not going to happen fast. It'll be a multi-year thing, but hopefully we'll be able to change the ballot access laws so the best candidates can get on, and it's not about parties. Because the Republicans and the Democrats, it's to their benefit to make it bipartisan, you know, just to keep their candidates ahead of the game. And so, you know, hopefully we'll be able to figure this out, and, you know, I'm happy to fund that.
It strikes me